It's finally back. Time to head off to a galaxy far, far away for a bit of a space western with The Mandalorian Season 2. The first episode is up and I just watched it, so stick with me and I'll break it down after the intro. Well, hello there. My name's Jeremy and welcome back to Freeform Disney, where I talk about all aspects of Disney, from the animated movies to the theme parks to Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar, and the TV shows, and everything else in between. And that is why it's Freeform. And keep coming back every day for new daily content. If you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Today it's all about Star Wars because we are watching Season 2 of The Mandalorian. Now, out of all of the TVs and all of the movies coming this year, this was always my number one that I was looking forward to. Giant Star Wars fan here, so probably not a big surprise if you know that. Well, anyway, it is finally here. The first episode, also known as Chapter 9 because they kept the numbering going from Season 1. Well, anyway, it is called The MARSHAL. Now, without any further time to waste, let's jump on in because here is what went down. And spoiler warning in case you're not expecting to hear it because that's what we're going. Now this is the longest episode of The Mandalorian yet, out of everything. It is 6 minutes longer than the finale to Season 1. Now it's technically 55 minutes long, but there's a good few minutes of extra credits in there. Now here I'm about to talk about something I normally wouldn't, which is the previously on. It is the longest actually for the entire series, which is not surprising because it recapped the first season. But I'm commenting about it because it was actually really well done. I was impressed. Usually previously ons are just slapped together, toss those scenes together and boom, hey, there you all know what happened. But someone put some really hard work into actually making this cinematic and flow nicely. Pretty nice actually. But anyway, that is certainly not what we're here for. So right off the bat, we get into the episode and we get a scene right out of the trailer. And I'm going, wow, didn't have to wait very long at all for that. And this is that run-down city that we saw before. And I'm assuming, hey, look, the fighting arena is going to be in here too. So we'll knock out a bunch of those pieces from the trailer right off the bat. Oh, and just for what it's worth, in case you missed that trailer breakdown, there's a Cylon hidden in the graffiti here as we go past it, as well as what could easily be assumed to be C-3PO. Although it could be another Golden Protocol droid as well. It doesn't have to be 3PO. And heck, for what it's worth, I am sure someone eventually will go through a whole bunch more Easter eggs that are probably hidden in that graffiti. I would not be surprised. Well anyway, Mando is here to see Gor Koresh, as he's got some info on where to go find another Mandalorian. Because remember, Mando, or Dyn Djarin, depending on how you want to go ahead and talk about him, because that's his actual name. Anyway, he is off on a quest to return little Baby Yoda, the child, off to his own species. And in order to find out more about the Jedi, he's trying to look for some other Mandalorians. So that's where we're at, and that's why he's here trying to talk to Gor Koresh. And by the way, Baby Yoda being cute as hell right off the bat, and oh, I missed him. I mean, how can you not? Jamie's just so cute. Anyway, now we find out Gor Koresh, he's not up on the up and up. He's really just here for the Beskar of Mando's armor, and so give it to me or you die. Yay! Or give it to me and you probably die on top of that anyways, more likely the case. Now we get some fun lines about gambling in there and a good fight scene with Mando to start this whole thing off. And he takes him down without too much difficulty. And we get to laugh as we watch Gor Koresh try to run. Yeah, that guy ain't getting anywhere. So Mando ties him on up to the lamppost and hoists him on up upside down. As we saw a bit from the trailer as well, although we didn't know for sure who it was because it was in the dark. So let's get that information out of him. Where is that Mandalorian that he knows of? Well, Tatooine. And I'm like, whoa, that means we are going to meet Boba Fett first in the season? Very cool. I thought it might be, say, Bo Katan first, but this definitely means we must be going that way. No question, if we're going to Tatooine, it's Boba Fett. Oh, and to end this little section that we start off on, he kills Gor Koresh. But as he cleverly says, not by his hand. Some kind of dog-like creature starred at him as Mando walks off, having strung him up helpless from that lamppost. And boom, title card. And then we are off to Tatooine for the rest of the episode. And if we're off to Tatooine, you know that there is someone that we're going to go ahead and see again if we're heading back, because come on, we can't not see her. Yup, it's Peli Motto, our lovable curmudgeon of a mechanic. And we get some fun in her play with the pit droids too. She, of course, orders him to stay away from Mando's ship, but Mando has changed. He's okay enough with the droids now. Back to that good character arc he had in season 1, and actually continuing that to where he is at this point with the droids. And that really is something, being willing to let the droids work on the ship. Now these are supervised droids, so who knows how good he would feel about a droid that's not supervised? But still, he's definitely character progress right there. Still makes you sad for IG-11's death right there back in the finale. Oof, let alone Quill in the episode before that, but oh, dang. Well, anyway, so he does. He lets the droids go, and although these are pit droids, we should note they're clumsy. And, well, actually, even with them being clumsy, Dyn keeps his cool. Impressive. And oh, Peli's reaction when she sees Baby Yoda. Ho ho, thank the Force. That little thing had me worried sick. Oh, her reaction just is all of our reactions to seeing Baby Yoda again. Just how much we love seeing him. And then she's got this whole little bit of, hey, how much do you want for it? Just kidding, but not really. You know, if the thing ever divides or bonds, I will gladly pay for the offspring. Oh, it's just a fun little section. Loved it. Well, anyway, she helps him to find the Mandalorian who is on the planet. Now, she doesn't know about a Mandalorian being there, but luckily Mando knows that he's looking for the city of Mos Pelgo, which isn't on the maps because apparently it was thought to be wiped out by bandits years ago. Hint, it wasn't completely wiped out. And then we get an interesting bit of talk. It's a brief bit, but just a little comment on how crazy things went on Tatooine after the Empire fell. Now, via the movies, you don't know anything about the Empire's presence on Tatooine, but there actually was some presence in the extended universe, which is now Legends and not canon. I think mainly in the games, actually, about Imperial control of Tatooine after the events of Star Wars A New Hope, and especially after the Battle of Yavin. So after the Battle of Endor, then, with both Jabba dead, as the Hutts had controlled Tatooine, and also with the Imperial influence on Tatooine having crumbled, it means there would be a giant power vacuum. And not quite so safe on the rest of Tatooine at that point. But nice that it touched on this, and I guess that also does make some of that Imperial presence a little more canon than it used to be before. Unless there was something that already did that, and I don't know, because I'm not super up to verse with all the different stuff that is new canon at this point. Well, anyway, he does not take his ship way over there because he wants to take a speeder bike, be a little less conspicuous in his approach. And oh, as we are going, Baby Yoda is loving the ride. Oh, it's so much fun. And heck, he also talks to some sand people along the way. Back to Dyn just having that respect for the people he actually goes by. Rather than just looking down on the sand people or trying to crush them as he goes, he actually works with them. Which obviously comes to some really good results sometimes too. What a concept. Anyway, so we finally get off to the town of Mos Pelgo, and it felt so very Western as Dyn comes riding into town on the speeder and has all those town folk warily watching him. And I have 100% sure that that was fully intentional to get that feeling right there. So into the local tavern he goes, because where else do you go when you enter town in a Western? Of course it's a tavern. Information time. And by the way, Baby Yoda cutely follows him in without Dyn noticing it's happening. And now it is time for Mando and the Marshal to go ahead and meet. The Marshal, by the way, is the guy with the Boba Fett's armor on him. Uh-huh. Now, this is not Boba Fett, we should note. The Marshal is actually Cobb Vanth. Now, Cobb Vanth is actually a character who apparently appeared in the Aftermath books, part of the new canon. Now, I haven't read those books, but I've heard some references to them. And playing Cobb Vanth, by the way, is Timothy Oliphant, who is someone who we had reports that had been cast in season 2 of The Mandalorian. So yes, there he is, and we know for sure what part he is too. So boom, there's one of those reports confirmed for sure at this point. Now, Cobb Vanth knows that Mando ain't gonna be too happy about him having a Mandalorian armor when he ain't Mandalorian himself, but he really feels the need to have it in order to protect his town. Now, luckily, before they come to blows, because they're about to go duke it out, and one imagines this would probably have been a pretty one-sided battle on Mando's side, well, a krayt dragon comes and attacks the town, and eats one of the Vanthas for that matter. Now, it was cool watching that krayt dragon come in. You couldn't tell what it was at first. It was underneath the surface, and oh, the music was cool, and then you knew what it was when you got to hear its cry. Because that is something that we have only heard before in the franchise, to my knowledge. Back before when Obi-Wan made a krayt dragon cry back in A New Hope to scare off the Tusken Raiders at the time. Oh, and that poor Bantha, by the way, he was so doomed. You knew it was going to happen. And oh, I just felt so badly for him as he was going to get eaten. Oh, poor guy. Oh, here's a fun one. Random side note, but not so random. Baby Yoda was off hiding in a big jug in the tavern during all of that and just peeks his head out when it's done. Oh man, if you don't love Baby Yoda, I don't know what show you're watching. And hey, because of that krayt dragon, we've got some common ground. Just in time. So Vanth tells Mando that, hey, you help me kill the krayt dragon, I'll go ahead and give you the armor. And Mando, being the honorable guy that he is, and who wants to work things out rather than just go kill somebody to go get what he needs, well, says, yeah, sure, I'll work with you. So they head off to its lair, and oh, Vanth's speeder is so cool, by the way. It is a pod racer engine, and I don't know if it is for sure, but it sure as heck looks a lot like Anakin's pod racer engine back from Phantom Menace. And oh, what a cool reference if that is the case. And even if not, it's still a reference because of the similarity to it right there. And then after that, as they're going out there into the desert, we get some flashbacks to what happened to Mos Pelgo after Return of the Jedi. So the mining collective attacked and slaughtered the village and put them into slavery. Nasty, nasty stuff. But Cobb Vanth, he was able to escape. And hey, he actually grabbed a Camtono on the way out. And that Camtono was full of silicax crystals. Lucky break right there. Oh, by the way, Camtono, that's the ice cream maker kind of thing right there. One of the deep cuts that Jon Favreau had a fun time talking about how he put in. If you haven't seen that documentary, by the way, the Disney Gallery, The Mandalorian, that went all through season 1, gave us all kinds of behind the scenes stuff, you really should go check that out sometime. It's up on Disney Plus. Watch that as you're waiting for episode 2 or something like that. Or heck, if you don't have Disney Plus and you're watching this right now, I guess you can watch my videos because I went ahead and did a breakdown and talked about each of those episodes. At any rate, very cool. There's so many cool references they made and so much cool stuff they did in season 1. And you see they are up to it in season 2 as well, to be sure, and in the best way possible. Anyway, so let's move on. So, he got that cool ice cream maker, the Camtono, with the silicax crystals. He got out of there and eventually got found by the Jawas and one of their big ol' sand crawlers. And hey, he was able to trade all of that for, amongst other things, Boba Fett's armor, which they had. So that's where he got the armor and the weaponry, and hey, using all that, he took the town back. Now, from what I've heard about the Aftermath books, for what it's worth, I think this exchange happened differently there, but I haven't read it, and so I gotta be honest, I don't mind whatever differences there may be, because I don't know that other content. So it was certainly well done here, that's all I've got to say about it. Okay, so enough flashing back, let us head back, and they are getting near to where the krayt dragon makes its home, and we start seeing a whole bunch of Tusken dogs out there. Luckily, Mando knows how to make a call to relax the dogs, and hey, then talks to the sand people too. Meanwhile, Cobb Vanth is going, these sand people, what the hell you doing? It's creeping me out a little here. And Yoda is being really cute. Baby Yoda is being super cute all the time, of course, because that's what Baby Yoda does. But yeah, luckily Mando knows how to talk to them and negotiate with them and how to make calls. It's good stuff. It pays off sometimes. It really does. Well, anyway, we have more alliances coming up because guess what? The Sand People want that great dragon killed too, so more common ground. But that said, things are hardly easy because for Cobb Vanth, he and the townfolk have been fighting with the Tusken Raiders for a long time and there is a lot of animosity between them. And we certainly get to see a little of that here during the episode. Heck, the animosity is to the point that Cobb Vanth even wants to refuse the poor smelling water that they offer him, which almost brings things to a head, especially as they see the town as stealing their water. Luckily, Mando steps in and settles this whole thing down. Ooh, bonus point though. What that water is served in is most certainly a sea urchin exoskeleton. Now, I thought it was clever, because dang it if that can't look alien if you don't know what it is and you're not used to it. And heck, even if you do know, it does still look a little alien, right? Cool choice right there. So we head off to the Great Dragon's Cave. Now, when we say the Great Dragon's Cave, let's say that he's making his home there now, because it used to be a Sarlacc's cave that he dug all through. And great dragons, well, they can eat Sarlacc, so that's what happened here. Speaking of bringing a bit of that old EU, the extended universe in, that is actually what's going on here too. And this great dragon, by the way, is not the smaller variety known from the EU, but definitely the giant long style great dragon, just like the skeleton we saw way back in A New Hope, way back. Well, anywho, it is actually interesting to see what the Sand People do to keep the great dragon at bay when they need to, so they actually feed it to keep it sleeping longer and they're able to tell what's going on. Although their plan does have its drawbacks, because in this case, instead of eating the bantha they were trying to sacrifice, it instead went and ate the running sand person instead. Yeah, that's not the job you want if you're over with the rest of the Sand People. I think I'll take the job watching from a distance. Yeah. Well, unsurprisingly, they work out a plan, and the Sand People are going to go ahead and take down the Great Dragon along with the village and along with our Mandalorian and the MARSHAL. So it's going to take everybody working together to make this all happen. And, well, after much convincing, the townsfolk do agree to work with the Tuskens. And heck, they're even going to get a truce with the Sand People for their joint effort. Now, I've got to say, that's a pretty dang good deal right there. Get rid of the Great Dragon, have a truce with the Sand People. Hey, 2 birds, 1 stone right there. Nice. And so it's time to enact the plan, but not without some fighting and bickering between the townsfolk and the Tuskens. Actually, we do see a little of this. Not too much, but then again, to be fair, this episode is over 50 minutes long anyway. To really get into more of that bickering and fighting between the Tuskens and townfolk would take that much more time in the episode, so I understand why we don't see more of it than we do. And it would probably slow down the pacing a bit too. Well, anywho, they load tons of big explosives up onto the banthas. Benefits of having a mining operation, I imagine. And off to the cave we go. So the only weak point on the Great Dragon is thought to be its stomach. So that means they need to lure it out on top of some explosives that they have buried and then blow it to hell. At least that's the idea. Now it is time for the fight to start. So as our Great Dragon is coming out, boom, and it's getting bigger. Now, fun, the aspect ratio of the episode actually changes at this point. And now, instead of being the black bars top and bottom, it is full screen because apparently this part was recorded specifically for IMAX. So I've heard. And yeah, you can see that different size and that plays an effect on you because, hey, he's taking up more space as you're looking at him now. Pretty fun idea and way to go about what they did for the whole fight sequence on this one. We get the curse dank Ferric out of Mando when the Great Dragon doesn't come out far enough. Now that's intriguingly a curse that we have heard from him at least once before back in like the very first episode. Maybe more than that too, but I remember it from there. Well, and we spent a lot of time getting them to get that Great Dragon all the way out. Lots of fight sequence time there. And they finally start to get it out far enough, and it spews acid big time at them during the course of this. Another nasty thing about fighting a Great Dragon right there. And they blow up the explosives. Now, if anybody thought those explosives were going to be enough, Well, you're kind of wrong, but also, why did you think there would be enough? That would be too easy a fight scene right there. Come on now. So, of course, they were not enough. Which means it will be time for our Mandalorian armored people to go into action. And by the way, that great dragon, so freaking dangerous. It goes underground and then comes out wherever the heck it feels like after that. So first, it goes underground and pops up out of the top of the hill up there and just starts spewing even more acid at them. Then after they head after it and start bothering it up there, it disappears again and appears elsewhere once more. Dang. And also, I gotta say, kind of feels like a video game boss in a way, just with that disappearing, coming back, disappearing, coming back. Yeah. Well, this ain't working too well, and we're losing more red shirt Tuscans. And I suppose a couple townsfolk in there also die, but mainly those Tuscans are biting it. Luckily, Mando comes up with a plan, and, well, he gets the detonator from Vanth, and then gets Vanth the heck out of the way with a fun Return of the Jedi reference, because how does he do it? He butts his weapon into Boba's jetpack that he's wearing, which sends him flying. Just like Return of the Jedi when Han hit that jetpack, which led to Boba not having a great time in a Sarlacc pit, shall we say. Tons of references in here, but well done, nothing I'm complaining about, that's for sure. I appreciate the way they do these and fit them in. Well, anyway, frankly, Mando's plan makes a ton of sense and will also make you wonder why the heck they didn't try it in the first place. So the plan is, we're going to have the Krayt Dragon eat a Bantha who is carrying a ton of explosives. Now, it also eats Mando at the same time, who has a detonator on him. Now, I'm wondering maybe the worry was the hide would be too thick for the signal from the detonator to pierce? That would be a reason, I guess. But on the other hand, he doesn't actually press the detonator until after he was out the mouth, but it was open at the time, I guess. So I guess that could be the reason there is that, hey, if he ate it and then went back under, we might not be able to press the detonator and get it to work. That would at least give a reason that we didn't have this as plan A right there. Well, at any rate, very dangerous plan as far as how it actually ended up going down. And hey, it works though. Dyn makes it out just fine. A little bit of use of his main weapon in there too. Lots of electricity currents going through the Krayt Dragon's mouth out there as he heads on out. And oh yeah, it was fun. Good fight scene. So success, yay, everyone's happy. Vanth goes ahead and gives Dyn the armor just as he promised. And there's a little, I hope our paths cross again between the two. And just saying, I'm gonna bet their paths are gonna cross again at some point. Whether it's this season or next, I don't know, but you don't get lines like that without that coming up. And also, we like bringing people back that we introduce. So yeah, we're going to see him again. I'm sure we will. And having killed a Krayt Dragon, there is plenty of food to go around for everyone. And the Tuscans find what? They find a gigantic pearl, which is a great EU reference that I remember from the haze of my memory a bit right there. So we just brought another theme that is Legends back into canon. And oh, that is only too nice. I love that. And off go Mando and Baby Yoda riding off into the sunset. Literally. With that, the episode is all but over, but we have one last really big piece because it is big reveal time. Because who do you think is watching Mando as he's speeding away? It's gotta be, right? And he turns around and it is. Holy shit, it is. It is Boba Fett, Temuera Morrison himself. With at least a scar on the face and a missing eyebrow, it seems too. So it looks like we are definitely going to get Boba Fett big time next episode. So excited about that right there. That is going to be, too much fun right there. Love Boba Fett. Always have. Temuera Morrison playing Jango before in the past has done such a great job there. Can't wait to see him playing Boba Fett. And that was the episode. Don't forget there was also beautiful concept art right after that. Honestly, not sure if that's art that's done before as concept art, legit that way, or if it's done after the fact to make it look more like concept art. That's something I've never actually found out one way or the other for sure. I should look into that sometime. But always love the beautiful art at the end. And also getting to listen to the music all the way through the credits. Oof. So nice. Well, anyway, this episode, I've been waiting so long for this to come out. So what did I think? Well, if you don't know that already, I'm surprised. But anyway, I was blown away. Loved the episode. Beautiful cinematography. Loved the music. Great acting, the humor that was weaved in here was great, the story was definitely good, pacing kept you in the whole way through, the references to the EU, the extended universe that is no longer canon, was great, so they brought things in that were no longer, and also the references to other movies were on point, and the reveal of Boba Fett was to die for. So next episode, I imagine we're going to stay on Tatooine at least for a bit longer. Now, is Boba going to be on Mando's side, or will they be adversarial? Who knows? What does Boba currently even know about the other Mandalorians at this point in time? I'm not sure. He certainly knows about the Jedi from the past, and other Mandalorians from the past. And heck, while we're talking about other Jedi, he certainly would know a bit about Luke Skywalker too, for that matter. Also, while we're at it, the mercenary Fennec Shand from back in Chapter 5 on Tatooine last season, played by Ming-Na Wen, I have to imagine she's still alive as nobody ever went to check and see if she was dead for sure. So I've been wondering for sure about this way back for, almost a year now. Now at the end of that episode, we had someone with boot spurs walk up toward where she was lying. Many, myself included, assumed at the time that person was probably Boba Fett. And looks like we're going to get our confirmation soon, most likely. Now, if she and Boba Fett are working together, well, things could get messier for our hero. Granted, I think our hero, good old Mando, is already well outclassed by Boba Fett, even without Boba having his armor. So that could be an interesting fight to end up seeing if we end up getting it. Well, at any rate, I can't wait to be blown away again by the next episode. I'm sure it's going to have its twists and turns, maybe another big reveal, and I'm probably not going to see what the hell's coming, and I'm only too happy to go for the ride. Wonder what other planets will make it to next episode. I mean, we could stay at Tatooine the whole time, but I'm guessing we'll head off world and go somewhere else. We know from the trailer that Mon Cala is coming up. We also know that we probably have Illa, but that's probably what we're seeing there on the ice world. And also, we have a space encounter with the New Republic at some point. So we know a few things that are coming up, and I'm guessing they're all within these first 3 episodes. So that means 2 more episodes to get all of those in. So yeah, coming up soon, right? Well, anyway, with all of that said, what about you? What did you think about the big Boba Fett reveal at the end? And hey, other than that, what did you love most about this episode? Let me know down below in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, help me out, give it a like, a share, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another new episode of Freeform Disney. Have a magical day, and may the Force be with you always.